In order to factor quadratic with leading coefficient of 1, that means there are no numbers in front of your squared term. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and, since there's no number in front of your squared term, you want to go ahead and just make two sets of parentheses. And you have two z's, so you want to split them up evenly. Now, the first sign, whatever it is, always goes down into the first parentheses, minus. The second sign, what you want to do here is you want to use this little triangle. And you cross out what you have in the original problem. So we have two minuses. So that means whatever's left, not crossed out, that goes here. So a plus. And then you work backwards. We want the factors of 12. The factors of 12 that when you subtract them equal 11. So the factors of 12 are 1 times 12. Yeah, when you subtract those, they equal 11, this middle term. So the biggest number always comes first, and then the 1, and you are finished with that one. So the next one, you make two sets of parentheses. You have two x's, so you split them up evenly. Bring down the first sign into the first set of parentheses. Now, actually, for everything positive, it stays positive, so this is the only time you don't use the triangle is when everything's positive. Now you work backwards. We want the factors of 24 that when I add them equal 14. So 24, I'm going to add them to get 14. So 1 times 24, that doesn't add up to 14. 2 times 12, that adds up to 14. Biggest number first, and you're finished. Okay, the next one. Again, you can only do this when there's no number in front of your squared term. So make two sets of parentheses. I have two z's, so I split them up evenly, one in each. The first sign comes into the first parentheses. The second sign, you cross out, use this little triangle, you cross out what the original problem had, so two negatives, which means this one has to be a positive, and you work backwards. I want the factors of 18 that when I subtract them equals 7. So 18. 18 is 1 times 18, and it's 2 times 9. When I subtract those, I get 7. So the biggest one first, 9, and then 2. And if you always bring down your first sign into the first parentheses and use the biggest factor that works first, you will never have a problem with your signs. Okay, the next one. Let's see here. Okay, nothing in front of your, no number in front of your squared term, so make two sets of parentheses. You have two z's, so you split them up evenly. Okay, first sign goes into first parentheses. You use this triangle for your second sign. You cross off what was in the original problem, so a plus and a minus. Okay, so that means over here we've got to have a minus. And you work backwards. The factors of 16, when I subtract them, equals 6. So the factors of 16 are 1 times 16, 2 times 8, right there. When I subtract those, I get 6. The biggest number comes first, and that one's finished. Okay, the next one, make two sets of parentheses. Split up your x's. Bring down your first sign. Use your triangle for the second sign. Where am I here? Cross off what was in the original problem, so two minuses, which means this one has to be a plus. Okay, the factors of 20, that when I subtract them, equal 8. So the factors of 20 are 1 times 20, 2 times 10, and when I subtract those, I get 8. So the biggest one first, so the 10, and then the 2, and you're finished. Okay, the next one, 2 sets of parentheses, split up your X's. Everything's positive here, so everything's going to stay positive. I want the factors of 20 that when I add them equal 12. So the factors of 20 are 1 times 20, 2 times 10. When I add those, I get 12. The biggest one first, 10, and a 2, and you're finished.